Welcome back to Mysteries and Mimosas, and thank you for joining us. I'm Max, and with me is my fantastic wife, Arya.
Hi, everyone.
Hello to you. Some of you may be wondering what in the hell happened to Max and Arya, and some of you might not care, and probably a large majority of you didn't even notice that Arya was gone.
Hey, they definitely noticed I was gone.
I think they noticed I was gone. Just saying.
They noticed we were both gone.
Could be, yeah. Matter of fact, we got a lot of feedback when we just kind of dropped the ball and left you hanging. A bunch of people were saying, hey, where are you? Are you good?
I didn't even know anybody cared enough, honestly.
Oh, they care.
They do. I know that now. Thank you for those who reached out and asked if we were still alive.
Yes, thank you to those who reached out and those who didn't, and even thank you to those that didn't even notice that we were gone.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks if you're listening. Well, we are back, and this time we're back with a bit of an explanation. So, you see, we were going to wrap up Season 1 without leaving you hanging, but as you might have guessed, life just happens. Since we were last with you, Arya finished up some of her schoolwork, I got super busy with my day job fighting crime, and we went on a little bit of a vacation to the Bahamas on a cruise ship with unlimited mimosas.
Yes, we did, and it was fantastic. Not long enough, but perfect. The weather was perfect.
It was perfect. We went on a Norwegian cruise, and we sailed in the Haven, or cruised, whatever you call it. It's only the second time we've been on a cruise ship, and there's no better way to do it. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree. That's the only way.
Yeah, if you haven't done it, you got to YouTube it and check out the Haven. I don't know if all the ships have it, but we sailed the first time we did it. We cruised in the Haven on the Prima with friends, and this time we just took some kids, and that sounds creepy. Our kids.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't just take any random kid that we found, and it was on the Breakaway, which. Not as good as the Prima, but it was still very well worth the time and effort to make that happen.
Yeah, no, it's a nice ship too. It's just one of their larger ships, so there are more people, and it was, I think, at 100% capacity, so it was a little crowded.
Yeah, but when you're in the Haven, it's not crowded.
That's true.
That's the nice part.
Yes.
Okay, so today's case comes to us, and let's just back up. I'm just trying to shake off the cobwebs doing this. I just want to say that I'm really happy to be here for Mystery Monday to kick this off, to get going back again. I can't wait to get back into the groove of things. So as a reminder, Mystery Monday is a short episode where we just kind of highlight a case that's not going to get any attention, and there's not a lot of information out there, but it's still important nonetheless to get those stories out there, hoping to reach somebody to elicit a tip.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason we started this podcast in the first place, right? Was to try to get some of these lesser known cases out there and hopefully get some tips and, find some answers.
Yeah, well, that and to share mimosas with each other and have fun. And that's what we're doing. So today's case we're going to talk about comes to us from the small rural town of Mosca, Colorado. You should be proud of me because I can't usually say that word, rural.
I was going to comment on that. I had to interrupt just to say good job.
I really had to focus.
Yeah.
So, located in the San Luis Valley of Colorado, Mosca is approximately the size of 1,000 residents. It's named after the nearby...
The town is the size of 1,000 people?
No, it's a small town that contains 1,000 residents.
Okay. You said that town is the size of 1,000 residents.
Oh, look who's a little spicy coming back from vacation. Okay. I'll just start that over. Mosca, Colorado, in the San Luis Valley, is home to over 1,000 residents.
Okay.
Roughly.
Yeah.
It's small. That's my point.
It is
You
small.
knew what I was saying.
Yes.
It was named after the nearby Mosca Pass, which, Colorado has a lot of those because they have a lot of mountains. The Rocky Mountains, in fact.
Yes.
It was named after Luis D. Moscoso Alvarado.
Wait a second. Isn't Moscoso boogers?
No, that is not.
It's
Boogers
not?
is mocosos.
Oh.
Mocos for short.
Well, I mean, that's pretty similar. You can see my confusion.
I guess. I don't think they would name Mosca after a booger.
Well, I'm just saying. Similar. Sounds similar.
Okay, sure. I guess it does. So as you would expect, Luis discovered and engineered Mosca Pass.
No, he did not.
No, he didn't.
No,
I'm just kidding about that.
that's not true.
That's not true. Luis was a Spanish explorer and conquistador born in the early year of 1505. So he did not build Mosca Pass.
No.
He was a Spanish explorer, a conquistador who had absolutely nothing to do with this pass. So I'm not really sure what the connection is.
Me either. I couldn't find it when I was looking it up. Like I don't know why it was named
Mosca, after Mosca
Yeah,
Pass?
I'm not really sure.
Maybe he always wanted to visit the Rocky Mountains. Who knows?
Yeah, in 1505.
Sure.
Yeah.
The nearby attractions of Mosca is the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, a UFO watchtower up in Hooper, just north of Mosca there,
Okay.
and a nearby Colorado alligator farm. They have alligators in Colorado, in case
Interesting.
you didn't know.
Hold on. So there's a UFO watchtower and a Colorado gator farm,
It's not the same place, but yes,
but like they're close
two different things.
to each other.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Most notably,
Why are there alligators in Colorado? Sorry.
it's an alligator farm.
I know, but why? Why did they have alligators there? Can they even... I didn't think alligators could live in Colorado. It's too cold.
I don't know why alligators would be in Colorado. I don't know whose idea it was. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea. I'm not judging anybody.
I'm not judging anyone. I just want to know about how the alligators are. Like, are they okay?
I'm sure they're
it's
fine.
cold
It's been there
here.
forever.
All right, fine.
Yeah. Don't worry too much about the alligators.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with alligators. As a matter of fact, what I was going to say is most notably, Mosca is home to a gas station called the Mosca Pit Stop, and there's a post office. That's how exciting it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it has been a while since we produced an episode, right? I mean, it's been, 3 weeks, almost a month?
More than that, I think. Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit rusty at this, as you can tell. As everybody listening can tell, I'm a little rusty at talking into this microphone in front of you. It's a little weird. Anyway, I just need, Aria, I need you to remind me how it's done. So will you please present this episode?
I will. So today's...
Do it then.
Okay. I'm
Just kidding.
trying.
You know I like to mess with you.
I know.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to let you go now. You can totally start whenever you're ready.
Are you sure?
And I'm not going to interrupt.
Okay.
This time for real. Last time.
Oh my gosh. Are you done?
I'm done, son.
Oh man. All right.
Okay, no, for real. Go ahead.
So today's case is about 30-year-old Rashell Elizabeth Hammond. In July of 2019, Rashell and her mother Cheryl relocated to Mosca from Columbus, Ohio. On August 15th of 2019, Cheryl went into town to have their cell phone service repaired because something was wrong with both Cheryl's and Rachelle's phones. I don't know for sure the details on that, but whatever it was, it required her to take both phones with her into town. So she went into the nearby town of Alamosa to have them fixed. While Cheryl was gone, Rashell decided to go out for a walk at about 11:30 a.m. Rashell didn't take anything with her. So remember, Cheryl has her phone, so Rashell has no phone, no identification, and she left her dog at home. When Cheryl got home, Rashell wasn't there. At first, Cheryl wasn't too concerned until nightfall, when Cheryl still hadn't heard from her. And as you would expect, Cheryl began to worry at this point. Apparently, they were very close. I think Cheryl described them as being joined at the hip. They didn't go even one day without speaking to each other. So you can kind of see, it's nightfall now. Cheryl doesn't know where she went, hasn't heard from her. She doesn't have a phone to contact her. She left with pretty much just the clothes on her back, so Cheryl's beginning to worry.
I'm confused a little bit.
Okay.
So if she doesn't have a phone, because her mom, Cheryl, took it to town to go get it fixed, I'm assuming it's not Mosca, since I'm guessing the pit stop and the post office don't fix phones. How do they know that she left to go for a walk at 11:30?
Yeah, I know. I couldn't find how they knew that information. I don't know if someone saw her walking or if 11:30 is when Cheryl left with the phones, and so they just assume at some point at 11:30 a.m. or after she went for this walk.
Yeah,
I don't know that for sure.
and I'm guessing that Cheryl went to get these phones fixed because it's probably a remote area. There's no cell phone coverage, I'm guessing. Maybe that's why she was going in to get them fixed, because they just
Yeah,
relocated from Ohio. Or
right.
maybe it's the UFO watchtower causing some interference. You never know.
Could be gators, UFOs. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's happening down there in Mosca, but yeah, I think it's could be assumed that, they just relocated from, Ohio all the way to Colorado, so it's potentially whatever carrier they had their cell service with out there, they needed to get it switched over. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, for some reason, Cheryl was under the impression that she was required to wait 48 hours until filing a police report. So she waited until August 18th before she made her official missing person report to the Alamosa County Sheriff's Office. When the Sheriff's Office responded, they searched the area on foot, but they didn't find anything. They returned the next day, which would have been August 19th. They came back with dogs, a search and rescue helicopter, and ATVs to further their search, but unfortunately, again, they came up empty-handed.
That's something else. So they put a lot of resources into this almost immediately, and nothing turned up.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I think that overall, searching for people, especially in rural areas like this, is not law enforcement's best skill and ability. And I know that, especially in small areas like this, they elicit help from search and rescue. And those people are extremely good at finding things. We actually use them sometimes when we need to find evidence even. We'll, have them come out. We'll activate them to come do like grid pattern searches for evidence of large crime scenes. So their scope is really not just limited to finding people and rescuing people. They can search for pretty much anything you ask them to do as long as there's a need.
Absolutely, yeah, they're super helpful. Unfortunately, though, remember she went on her walk on August 15th, and now we're on at August 19th. So
Quite a bit of time has passed.
there was a couple days before anybody even knew she was missing. So they were kind of behind, even at the start. So not only did Rashell leave without a phone, without her ID, she left her dog, she left everything behind. She also left her required medication. So Rashell suffers from bipolar disorder, and so she did not take those medications with her either.
That's kind of telling. If you're not taking your ID, your phone, like who knows if she took money, personal belongings, that's obviously an indication that you intend on returning fairly soon, especially medication. That's a big indicator that Rashell did not intend on leaving for a long period of time.
Exactly. And the relationship she did have with her mom, is very close. And, they relocated together from Ohio to Colorado, and she hadn't been there very long, only a few weeks.
Yeah,
so
she
I don't
couldn't
know
have
really
known very many people.
Right. I don't know how many people she knew, or I guess I don't know what the circumstances behind them moving from Ohio to Colorado were in the first place. Maybe they did know people there. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's definitely odd that she never went a day without talking to her mom, and now all of a sudden they relocate to this new place. She goes out on a walk, leaves everything behind, and hasn't made contact with her mom.
Yeah, and the other thing that's very interesting is how some people still, in this day and age, think they have this misconception that you have to wait a certain amount of time before you report people missing. Those days are over.
Yeah.
Especially when you have these circumstances, right? Like, police are going to listen to you when you tell them, hey, we're very close. We just moved here. We don't know anybody. She left everything behind. This is uncharacteristic. That prompts a much different response than if a mom is saying, oh, this is the 43rd time my child's ran away. I expect them home any day now,
Right.
And so I'm sure that there's no blame on Cheryl's part. She just was, misunderstood on the rules.
Of course, yeah. She thought, her daughter's an adult. She's 30 years old. she just thought that, it's not like a juvenile, so I have to wait this length of time before
Correct.
I can report her missing.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a $50,000 reward currently offered for information that leads to the location of Rashell. Rewards can help, right? They can elicit people to bring forth tips that might be helpful. But unfortunately, they can also have a negative effect. And then you have all kinds of people giving false tips and false information and, all of these things to try to get that $50,000 reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
Yeah. So that happened in this case.
Even in situations where you're asking the media for help with no reward, if there's no reward attached for it and you're putting information out there asking for the public's assistance, people typically want to be helpful. Mm-hmm. And, I've worked through some of the public tips that we've received on cases that I've done, and, they don't pan out to be anything. Some of these tips, a lot of them don't. But, we don't do this to ignore tips because we think that, oh, that's nonsense, right? We follow up on them, and it does create quite a bit of work. And essentially what police do they should do when they get these tips, they should have like what's called a lead sheet, and they're able to track the leads that come in and either vet them, discredit them, give them essentially a rating of importance or, validity, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So, once this information goes out there and media release is made that, hey, we're looking for information, there were a couple of tips that came in regarding Rashell being in either California or Massachusetts and involved in some kind of a human trafficking situation.
Oh, interesting.
So it looks like follow-up was done with agencies in each of those states, but nothing came from it. The reason they thought that they could be potentially credible is because the individuals who provided the tips actually gave legitimate information about themselves. Like they had real address, real name, all of that was real. A lot of the tips they had been receiving, was fake information, just trying to get that monetary reward. So this tip was actually considered possibly credible, but like I said, nothing ever came of it.
Nothing ever panned out.
No.
That's unfortunate.
It is. So there is one interesting piece of information in this case. So apparently the day before Rashell went missing, she had a small run-in with the local law enforcement there in Alamosa the day before. So she was contacted on private property on a vacant lot with a known female drug addict who lived in that area. Apparently, this vacant lot was sort of a hot spot for criminal activity, and it was on the sheriff's office radar for extra patrols. So I don't know the details of, that contact or, who all was there, if it was just the two of them or what they were doing or what kind of state of mind Rashell was in. I don't know any of that information, but I do think it's interesting that just the day before she had been contacted by law enforcement. And I also think it's interesting, her and her mom had only been in the area for 3 weeks, but she already has this contact or this person that she's hanging out with.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder if this is somebody that they knew from Ohio, Skibbity, Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that.
Wow.
I don't know what it means. I know all the kids are saying it, though.
Yep.
So I just saw an opportunity and I took it. I'm sorry.
Nice.
I get sidetracked. Anyway,
Nice.
I don't know if, who knows if this person that she met who was hanging out, who's to be known to be a druggie on vacant property, who knows if this person is one of the reasons why they came to Colorado.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, I couldn't find all that information, but I did see that the investigator was going to follow up with that person. I don't know if they did. I'm sure they did, but there was no information on what came of that conversation. If they ever did follow up with this female, what she had to say, I don't know. But
Curious.
yeah, they were also going to follow up at the local homeless shelter to see if anybody there had seen her. I I know her mom had also hired a private investigator that worked on the case for several months, but unfortunately nothing has ever panned out, and Rashell hasn't been seen or heard from since August 15th of 2019.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that just another case of someone that just mysteriously disappears.
Yeah.
With no explanation, no rhyme or reason, completely out of character and completely unexpected.
Yes.
That's just got to weigh on Cheryl every day. You know, could you imagine? She moved from Ohio, went to Colorado, and she did this with her daughter to maybe start a new life or just relocate, whatever the case. And she wanted to be on this journey with her daughter, and she only experienced that for 3 weeks, and now her daughter is gone and she has no answers.
Exactly.
And now she's in Colorado alone, presumably. That's
it's
very
really
upsetting.
sad. I guess like I said, they were really close, and every year on Rachel's birthday they would do something like her mom said they would go on an adventure together every year. And so they had planned on her 31st birthday they were going to go to the Grand Canyon. And so they had all these plans and things that they always did together, so it is completely out of character.
Well, thank you for presenting that. And as mentioned before, there's a $50,000 reward for information leading to the location of Rashell. Rashell was 30 years old at the time of her disappearance. She's 5 foot 5 inches tall, 115 pounds with brown shoulder-length hair and brown eyes. She has a pierced septum and multiple tattoos, including stars on her left arm, a skull on her right hand, and a cat with a bong on one of her shoulders. The day Rashell disappeared, she was wearing black Nike shoes, khaki shorts, and a black tank top.
If you have any information about the disappearance or location of Rashell Elizabeth Hammond, please contact the Alamosa County Sheriff's Office at 719-225-5824. You can reference the case number 19-0963.
And feel free to tell them when you call in to give your tip that Max and Aria sent you.
Yes.
Just kidding. You don't have to do that. Anyway, thank you for listening. As always, please check us out, mysteriesandmimosas.net. Check out our Instagram and our Facebook at Mysteries and Mimosas Podcast.
And YouTube.
And YouTube, you could check it out. Yeah, you could listen on YouTube as well. And maybe you are listening on YouTube. This streams to YouTube. Mm-hmm. So if you are, thank you, loyal YouTube listeners.
Yes.
Shout out to you. Anyway, is that it? Are we done? We're back at it?
I think so.
Back in the saddle?
Yeah.
Did you shake the cobwebs off?
Oh, I did.
Yeah. You did a great job. I'm very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're doing great. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Just full of words of affirmation and love.
I always appreciate the encouragement.
Yes. Keep doing it.
Okay.
Don't give up.
Got it.
When you hit rock bottom, you're just bouncing right back. That's all it is.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, I don't bounce off rock bottom.
You could just splatter if you'd like, or it's just how you handle adversity, and if you'd like, you can bounce back up. So that's what I'm saying. Don't splatter at rock bottom.
Okay.
Bounce back. That's the message. But you know what? You're doing it, Aria. You're killing it. So thank you. Okay. And I'm done. That's it. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Got off on a tangent. So, as we wrap up our very first episode, it's not even episode 1. This is a bonus episode. This isn't even episode 1, but season 2, very first Mystery Monday. I just want to say cheers to Rashell.
Cheers.